Hey, welcome to Questions Just Ask. I'm Chaplain John Ring, and I've got on my pretty green shirt for the Christmas holidays this month. Yeah, I know Christmas is coming fast. We're only, 3 weeks away? Less than 3 weeks away. It's coming fast. So, hey, listen, before I get started, if you have any questions about the Christian faith, anything, faith, life, me, anything, just ask. Just send me an email at john@hopelowcountry.org. That's john@hopelowcountry.org. Right now, I'm working through a book called Banned Questions About the Bible by Christian Piat. Now, once I'm done that, I'm out of questions. So let's get your questions in. And if you want to know when I'm going to answer the question, what date, I'll let you know. Send them to john@hopelowcountry.org. So let's get started with the questions. Now, I'm going to also have to say this. I am not an expert. I generally often give my interpretation of the question and my response based upon my belief system, not anybody else's. So if you don't like the answer, don't get mad at me. If you want to engage me, again, send an email at john@hopelowcountry.org and we'll see if we can't get an engagement going. But I try my best. I try to be as biblical as possible. So let's start. Why is the Gospel of John so different from the other three? And by the way, the other three are Matthew, Mark, and Luke. It's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were the four Gospels. And it is different. Matthew portrays Jesus as king. Mark portrays Jesus as servant. Luke portrays Jesus as man. John presents Jesus as God. And looking at this very carefully, it's really clear that John is probably the most theological book of the four, even though they're all talking about Jesus. He wants to make sure you understand he is the Son of God. Now, John was the best friend of Jesus. That's clear from reading the scriptures. He was very close to Jesus. So that's another side of John that we might come through the writings. He's close. And not only that, but let's face it, the Gospels are written by different people with different personalities. And John's personality comes out, and he wants to make sure you know he is the Son of God. That's why often most people, when they want somebody to really learn about Jesus, say, go read the Gospel of John, because it's so theologically sound. And it is. But that's why. The others, Mark was actually the first one that was written. Then came Matthew and Luke pretty much together. They all sound very similar. They give a very similar story. John stands a little bit out of the different states, because if the story didn't have to relate to him being the Son of God, he left it out. He just simply left it out. He was there. But he only wanted you to know things based upon what Jesus said, and specifically about him being the Son of God. So that's why it looks different. That's why it sounds somewhat different. It's because, you know what? It is different. So, hey, that's my answer. So join me next week when we look at, what does the Bible say about hell? What does the Bible say about hell? Well, you might be surprised at the answer to that. See you later. Have a good week.